Hello students and welcome to this 8th lecture of the mechanical properties of the fluid chapter. So in the last lecture we have learned about the mercury barometer. So in that we have discussed about what is meant by barometer. The barometer is nothing but the instrument which is used to measure the atmospheric pressure, that is known as the mercury barometer. Then after that students we have learned its construction, we have learned different points based over that. So we will just revise once again. So students, in the last lecture we have discussed the mercury barometer. The instrument that used to measure the atmospheric pressure is called as the mercury barometer. Now, one of the first barometers which was invented by the Italian scientist, it is Torricelli. Now, why that this name has been given to the particular part of this barometer we will learn now. The barometer is in the form of glass tube completely filled with the mercury and placed upside down in a small dish containing a mercury. Now, and it's a diagram you can see here. Now students, this is the construction of the mercury barometer. Now a glass tube of about 1 meter length and a diameter of about 1 centimeter is filled up with the mercury up to its brim. Now you can understand student. Now it is then quickly inverted into the small dish containing the mercury. Now the level of the mercury in the glass tube lowers as some mercury spills in the dish. So the mercury level in that tube will be decreased as there will be the some amount of that mercury will be spill into that dish. Now a gap is created. You can see the gap that the upper part of that tube and the surface A you can see. So this is the gap created here. Now surface mercury in the glass tube and the closed end of the glass tube. As you can see in the diagram, the gap does not contain any air, and that's why there is absence of air. That's why there will be the vacuum, and this vacuum which is formed by this type of arrangement is called as the Torricelli's vacuum. Now it does contain some mercury vapors, but there is a vacuum which is called as a Torricelli's vacuum, but it does contain some mercury vapors. Now thus the pressure at the upper end of the mercury column inside the tube is 0. So there will be the vacuum which is called as a Torricelli's vacuum, but there will be some vapors of the mercury will be there. But that's why it is the reason that there will be the pressure in this section will be 0. Now the pressure at point is 0, so the PA is equal to 0. Now let us consider a point C on the mercury. You can see in the diagram students at the same time. Let us consider a point C or the mercury surface in the dish and another point B inside the tube at the same horizontal level as that of the point C. Now students, we have considered the 2 points, and those 2 points are B and C. As you can see, the point C is over the surface of the mercury inside the vessel or inside the tank, and point B is at the same level of the surface but it is inside the tube. So these are the 2 points that we have considered here. Then the pressure at C is equal to the atmospheric pressure P0, means at point C, which is lying over the surface of the mercury inside the tank, will be the pressure experiencing the pressure of P0 as it is open to the atmosphere. So it will be exactly equal to the atmospheric pressure. Now as the point B and the C are at the same horizontal level, so as you can see, the point B and point C are at the same horizontal level. You can see in the diagram, then you will get it. Now the pressure at B will be obviously exactly equal to the atmospheric pressure point P0. Now the PB will be equal to P0. The pressure at the point B will be equal to the atmospheric pressure P0. And suppose the point B at the depth of H below the point A. Now as you can see in the diagram student, there is the point B at the depth of H below the point A, as you can see, as we have directed into the diagram. Now rho is the density of the mercury, means students, the rho is the density that we have indicated of the mercury. Now the pressure of that point B we can be given as Pa plus rho Hg, means it is the summation of the pressure at point A plus H is the depth of point B from the point A, and rho is the density of the mercury, and G is nothing but the gravity. So this is the equation that we have derived for the mercury barometer. So students, next point after that we have learned is the open tube manometer. So a manometer consists of U-shaped tube. As you can see, the diagram is popping on your screen. So this U-shaped tube is partly filled with the low density liquid such as the water or the kerosene. So as we know that the water and the kerosene is having very low density, that's why the U-shaped that shape has been filled with the water or with the kerosene. Now this helps in having the larger level of difference between the level of liquid in two arms of the manometer. Now as you will observe the diagram, then you will get that one arm of the manometer is open to the atmosphere and the other connected to the container D, means we have denoted the container as the D. Now which is the pressure having P is to be measured. Therefore the pressure at point A is the atmospheric pressure P0. P0 is nothing but the pressure which is at point A, means you can see in the diagram students, at point A the pressure will be equal to the atmospheric pressure because this arm is open to the atmosphere. Now to find the pressure at point C, now we will be moving towards the point C. Now we have to find the pressure at point C which is exposed to the pressure of gas in the container. Now we have to consider the another one point B in the open arm of the manometer at the same level of C, means to find out the pressure at point C we have considered the one point B to find out the pressure. Now the pressure at the points B and C is the same. Now the pressure at point C will be equal to the pressure at point B, as the both points are level at the same level of surface. So the PC will be equal to the PB, and the pressure at point B is equal to PB is equal to P0 plus rho into H into G. The students, the equation that we have derived you can see on your screen now. So the PC will be equal to PB, and now we have to find the pressure at point B. So the pressure at point B will be the summation of the atmospheric pressure plus the product of H into rho into G. Now while the rho is the density of the liquid in the manometer, while H is the height of the liquid column above the point B, as you can see in the diagram also, and the G is nothing but the acceleration due to gravity. So these are the terms, this is the equation for the open tube manometer. Now according to the Pascal principle student, we can see that the pressure at point C will be same at point D. Therefore the pressure P in the container will be P is equal to PC. Now the above we will take help of the above equations. So we can write the P is equal to P0 plus rho Hg. Now as the manometer measures the gauge pressure, so the gauge pressure of the gas which is at the container, now we can write the gauge pressure in the container D as the subtraction of the pressure at the point C minus the atmospheric pressure is equal to rho Hg. So this is the equation that we have derived for the pressure at point D for the open tube manometer. So students, if there will be the question in your exam about the open tube manometer, then first of all you have to draw the neat label diagram. The point, where is point D, that inside the container, what will be the liquid, what will be the level of liquid at point C and the level of liquid at point A, which arm is open of the U tube, means you can say U-shaped tube. So this diagram you have to write very neatly with the well level, and the H, the height of H is the distance between A and point B, means point B is situated from point A at depth H. So these are the considerations you have to right after the drawing the diagram. Now you have to write the cases, means the atmospheric pressure, what will be the atmospheric pressure at point A. So after that, what the reason you have to write. Then you have to think about the pressure at point C. So for that purpose, you have considered the point B below the point A at the height h or at depth h. Then students, you will be writing the pressure, that the pressure at point C will be equal to the pressure at point B. Means after the directing or the indicating the point B, you have to write that PC will be equal to PB, and the reason for that will be as they having the same surface level, so the PC will be equal to PB. Then you have to write the equation for the PB, means pressure at point B will be the atmospheric pressure plus rho into G into H. Then you have to move further for the point C, means P will be equal to PC. Then you have to write the equation for the pressure, that is P is equal to P0 plus rho into H into G. Then you have to consider the same pressure at point D. Then you have to write P minus P0 is equal to rho Hg. So this is how you have to write the answer in the exam, and this will be the correct sequence to solve the answer. Now students, we are going to start the next point of this chapter, but which is the surface tension. But before that, I would like to ask you a few questions. You have to guess those answer. Now the first one is, you may have created the bubbles, so why those bubbles are floating over the surface of the water? This is the first question. And the second question is, the grease the razor blade, why it also float over the water, and why that spider is easily and comfortably walk over the surface of the water. So these are the few questions that you have to guess their answers, and based on these questions, the answers of these questions is nothing but the surface tension, the point which we are going to discuss now. Now students, first of all we will see the definition of the surface tension. A liquid at rest shows a very interesting property called as the surface tension, means the answer of the questions that I have asked you before. Now we have seen that the water spider walk over the surface with the steady water. Grease the needle floats over the steady surface of the water. Raindrops and the soap bubbles always take a spherical shape, etc. All these phenomenon arise due to the surface tension. Surface tension is one of the important properties of the liquid. So this is the introductory part they have given about the surface tension. So the surface tension is nothing but students, it is the stretched membrane over the water surface which is having some density, that is the stretched the membrane over which object which is having the very less weight than that of the surface tension can float very easily over that stretched membrane of that water. So this is the reason, and this is nothing but the surface tension, and this is the answer of all the questions that I have asked you about. It causes only because of the surface tension. Now we will see the next part of the surface tension. Now students, we will learn about the entire term of the surface tension with the help of the diagram which is popping on your screen. Now there is one tank, or you can see the container where the water is lying over that, means we have poured the water on that. Now you are able to see the three particles as A, B and C. So they are sink inside the water at the different level in different cases. So particle A inside is totally inside the water, and particle B is the 70% of part of that particle is inside the water, and left of the part is above water, which is exposed to the atmosphere. And the third one particle, which is C, you can see that half of that particle is inside the water and half of that particle part of that particle is exposed to the atmosphere. So this is the diagram from which we have to understand the different types of forces which are deals with that surface tension phenomenon. So we will learn in detail, but students, this was the entire construction of that surface tension diagram, that we have to learn different types of forces, how they are dealing with each other, and you can say that we will see the sphere of influence and the surface film, how does it form, and what is meant by sphere of influence we will learn in detail. But it's a diagram from which we are going to all the terms which are related to the surface tension. But students, this all the terms we will learn in the next video. So this much is sufficient for this video. So next part of this chapter we will see in the next video. Thank you so much.